That will create some kind of compression. I don't like to ball up my cables like this. My Wi-Fi in here. Get yourself a hardcover book. I install this box, run this, pop this drawer out. Layout of the top end boxes. Usually all my electrical stuff is inside there, so I have all of my processors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, action sound. Yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa. Desire to get to higher. Life, it's an open road. Desire to get to higher. Don't limit it, yeah, go about. Desire to get to higher. Life, it's an open road for the beat. Life, it's a subject, ain't not an object, take a full control.
Yo, everybody, welcome back to the channel again. Hey, thanks for all the feedback I've been getting. I've been getting a lot of calls and stuff. And, thanks for everybody that reached out. And I've gotten some good pointers. Some very well-known people in the business that make me know, well, them never do certain things that them see me I do. And means a lot, you know. Getting a lot of encouragement from people to keep pushing. So I'm gonna keep pushing, you know what I mean? So welcome back to the channel. And this episode I'm gonna keep very short. The last one was an hour and 20 minutes. I try to keep them smaller than that, you know what I mean? So I shoot for the 30 minutes and I already got 2 minutes already in this and we just a start. But anyway, building a sound, you're new to the sound, business, you're thinking about building a sound, maybe you just start build one. You know, these type of videos is going to connect to you at some way, some form. You're going to find something very interested in what I'm saying. All right. And we're on the series where I'm organizing the racks, getting everything ready for the summertime. So we have a couple of outdoor events that I'm getting ready for. But basically, my last episode and the one before, I said to you guys to start off planning, basically start planning. And I'm going to give you guys an idea of what that looks like. All right, so when I said start planning your every move, let's start off by getting yourself one of these. Get yourself a hardcover book, and I don't mean to laugh, but you might think it's stupid to get one, but in a minute you're gonna understand why I have this book. And this book stays by my sound at all times. It sleeps in one of the drawers, so whenever I need it, I can always get it. There's some page missing here because I've changed things as I went along. But usually, everything that I do, I write down in this book. I have rack case designs that I've put in here. I have parts designed for both power box and speaker boxes. Sometimes I would draw figures out so I know what I'm doing. Here is speakers and stuff that, you know, the type of speakers I want to go with, what cabinet. I have everything written down on paper. The equipment that I'm putting in the rack, I'll list it out. Which equipment first, what is next, and why. I'll sit down and try to figure out what goes behind what. You know, what is next in line. You know, how am I going to organize the rack? You know, if you notice, on this page it says rack 1, over here it says rack 2. The very first thing on both of the lists for the rack is a Furman power conditioner. You know, so I list the equipment, the model number and everything. It also has the price beside it too. I mean, you find this helpful when you're starting to build out. If you're starting from scratch, you'll find that very helpful. Here's also a list of my speaker cabinets, the components that go in it, whether the tweeter, the horn, the type of horn, the driver that goes with it, you know, the model numbers and everything. You want to sit down and write these things out. Patterning off the back of it, I tend to put everything on paper, you know, just for patterning off the back, just to give me an idea of what I want in the back, how I want it to look, how I want it to lay out, you know, how am I going to run the cables. Some of you guys might look and be like, oh yeah, that's a little bit too much, but it helps in the long run when you're planning things. The same thing goes for the coffin. I've got the coffin and I have the inputs and the outputs all laid out for the coffin right here. This is how I know what is what, how many cables I'm gonna need, you know, all that kind of stuff. I just talked about cable. I also write the cables down, the length of that cable, how many cables do I need, this length or that length, just to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. So get yourself one of these hardcover books and just start taking notes. All right, you have a whole lot of pages to go through. You're not gonna use half of it, I guarantee you, but the book is gonna come in handy. Take for instance, when I'm soldering, I have little diagrams that I use when I'm soldering, whether it be an XLR jack or a 1/4-inch jack, you know, the color cable I use, the pin number, you know, everything, like on the XLR pin 1, 2, and 3, where do I use it, which is which, you know, just as a reminder. So I know I always have this to go back and look on, just to make sure I'm doing things the right way. Here's a brief layout of the top end boxes. I'll put everything on paper how I want it to look. One thing that a lot of people don't do, okay, for the Jamaican culture, speaker box have to have a tweeter in it, you know what I mean? You're not gonna see a lot of Jamaican sound system without a tweeter in it. Maybe some other countries, I know the Guyanese, they don't like to use a tweeter that much. So, I mean, here that I've seen. But for most Jamaicans, you have to have that tweeter. So you wanna sit down and pencil it out. How many tweeters you're gonna put in one box? You know, you gotta figure out the Ohm's law, how many ohms it's gonna be. How do you, there's a thing that we do, series or parallel, to get the amount of ohms that we're gonna need. So you have all that thing drawn out on paper, and you know what is what. And this is just for me, box building pieces, you know, how many pieces I'm gonna cut out. Things like these, you have them to go back and look on. Like I'm building boxes, I'm always coming back to look at these. Depends on which box design I'm working with. Most of the design, I'll put them together myself based on the speaker that I'm gonna use. I have designs here for my bass, my subwoofers, you know, little notes in here just so I could go back and look on. And what I'm gonna do is, some of these designs I'm gonna put into the members only portal. So if you go down in the description area, you'll see where I have a join button. Go ahead and join the club. You know, it helps to support the channel. You know, don't forget to comment and share the videos. That also helps to support the channel. And I've got all of my social media platform down in the description. So just go down in the description, you'll see everything down in there you need. But one thing I'm pushing for now is if you like what I'm doing and you wanna go ahead and contribute to the channel, go ahead and just hit that join button down below and come on in and join the fun. I'm gonna put a lot of these schematics and drawings and designs that I have in those portals so you could see those. All right, so I mean, I don't want to go through everything that's in here. Just want to skim over it a little bit. But for the most part, you want to make sure you start off with a plan. You know what you're doing. Just sit down and pencil things out so you know what steps you're going to take next. I'm going to go over some of the ideas that I've had and things that I've made that would make things easier for me. All right, so what I look upon right now is my rack, see? And inside there, so I have all of my processors and stuff. And then these are my bass amplifier. And every one of my racks, all of my racks, if you look in all of my racks, they all got drawers at the bottom. There's a reason why I put drawer at the bottom of every rack, is because, well, one is storage, two is because the distro is directly behind these drawers. And no equipment cannot fit behind it. Actually, no deep equipment cannot fit behind it. So that's why I'm gonna put the drawer there, because I don't want to put any equipment behind it. Now there's a bonus to that, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. I'm gonna do this one over here. All right, so over here in this rack, you see this drawer at the bottom? Usually all my electrical stuff is in here. It's empty now, and I'm switching all my jacks to these. So I got stuff in here, but usually in here it's got all kind of electrical stuff in here. All right, but this is one of my drawers. I went with a 13-inch deep drawer because the rack itself is 27 deep without the cover, 30 with the cover, 33 with the cover, I mean. It's 27-inch deep, and so in order for this to fit and the distro to fit behind it, I had to go with a 13-inch draw, and I have a 7-inch distro behind it. So it leaves a little bit of space in between that where it's not touching, where the cables could run. So this is one trick, or one plan I had before I went and did this. Hold this. With this draw, you can easily pop this draw out. And once you take out the draw, you have complete access to the back of the distro. And there is my power cable in the back of the distro. So, if I need to move something or organize something differently, you know, I would come back here. Yeah. If I needed to move something or organize something differently, I would come back here. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to get a vacuum and vacuum back here right now. All right? But I'm just showing you, this is one way that I can access behind my distro. This is why I put a drawer at the bottom of my rack behind the distro. So I can pull these drawer out, detach the drawer itself to get access to the distro. Okay? And when I'm done, simply just slide the drawer back in. So that's one thing that I did. If you look at my racks, you'll see they all look similar. A drawer at the bottom, all the amplifiers in the middle. And at the top, I have a security cover, the same size. I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4 space. All the security covers are 4 space, the same size. So from a distance, everything just look completely uniformed. Now behind this cover, there's nothing. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that from the other side when you guys were looking at it. Behind this cover, there's nothing behind it. This one here has equipment for my top end and my main mixer coming in. And over there, all my bass equipment is in there. So both of these are full, but this one has nothing. It's just so when you can look, if you look across, everything just look uniform. That's just me personally. That's how I like it to look. It has to look good. It has to have the functionality to it. So that's how I like it. So that's why I set it up that way. All right, so back here, if you open all the racks, as a matter of fact, let me close these. Let me close these. That one can't close. That one can't close. But if you look at all of them from the back, they all look the same. The distro is all gonna look like this. In fact, that one and this one, they look alike. The middle one, I'm gonna change that out in a minute. So they're all gonna look the same. If you look at all of them, all the output jacks, all lined up across, all the way across. All the fans are lined up across the same. The input jacks, all the input jacks are on the same level. Everything is identical all across the board. That is by design. That is by design. I've got power output from here. This is what powers my controller case up top. So I got power from here for this. On the other racks, I got power on the 2 sides over there. And on this one, I have power. Well, the power is only on one side over here. But I think I'm gonna put another one down here at the bottom. And those are all twist lock power. The main mixer, I have Ethernet. And this is for the X32. If I go to do a stage show and the band has their own X32 or their own on-stage mixer, I can send these cable, these two cable left and right, I can send these up to the stage and be able to control their levels from the mixer itself, from the mixer inside this rack itself. All right, so that's why I have these. This Ethernet is to access my Wi-Fi in here. I have a Wi-Fi in here, right up in here. And this is the power for my Wi-Fi. Reason why I installed this box is these don't fit too well behind that distro, so I install this box, run this, and then plug this box up there. Okay, so that's why I have it like this. And this plug is secure in here. It's not gonna bounce out if I'm moving around. All my power cables for the power soft is gonna be on this side, just like the other rack. And all my signal cables are gonna be on this side, just like the other rack. And my speaker cables are just gonna be pretty much like the way it is now, straight in the middle. One thing I don't like to do, and you guys is gonna see this as I go along, I don't like to ball up my cables. I don't like to ball up my cables like this. Only when I'm storing them, you'll see me do this, but if they're gonna be permanently in the rack, I don't like to leave them like this. My power cables, I like to run them around the rack. If they're too long, sometimes I'll cut them and put an end on the end of it. But this is not, for your power cable, it's not good. Even for your main power cable, shine pan. Even for your main power cable, you don't wanna run your cable and have it like that on the ground. You understand? That does all generate heat. So that's one thing I don't practice to do, is to roll my power cables up. I always want to stretch them out as much as I can. You know what I mean? But basically, if you notice, all my fans at the top, they're pulling the air out of the rack. Now somebody called me and they were like, the mesh doors, it's not good for the fan. Oh, I'm gonna try to explain it the same way them explain it. You're going to the rack, because the rack just finish up and it look nicer. So when you have this, how it was explained to me is like this, you have it here so the hot air can blow out. But then you have this fan that's pulling out the air as well. But with this being mesh, air is going in the rack and the fan is only pulling out the fresh air that's coming through here in the rack. So you have this cyclone going on inside the rack where the hot air is not really coming out. It's just the cold air that's going in through here is coming through here. So the fan is not doing its job properly in pulling out the air out of the rack. What they suggest is I get the plain panel that covers everything that's solid, no holes in it. That will create some kind of compression in the rack where the suction from the fan will be a lot greater and be pulling a lot more air out of there. To be honest with you, knowing a little bit about air conditioning and so forth, and compressor and so forth, makes sense. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it and see how much of a difference it makes. All right, I'm gonna try it and see if it make a difference. If it make a difference, then I'm gonna change these doors to the solid ones. But if it don't make a difference, then I'm just gonna keep these mesh doors. All right, I'm gonna know when you're gonna do that yet, but I'm gonna do that. So basically, all I'm saying is make sure you have everything planned out when you start to do your thing. Make sure so everything is planned to the T and you know exactly which equipment you're gonna get, why you're gonna get that equipment, how many inputs it have, how many output it have, where are the inputs going, where are the outputs going, you know, or where the inputs coming from, or where the outputs going. Just make sure so you put down everything on paper, know where is where and what is what. So, and then you start put things together. That way, you know, buy equipment and this not gonna work. Change that, get this, that one the better. And you know what I mean? You're always gonna upgrade. With this sound business, you're always gonna find yourself a buy something. You understand? So if you plan it out properly, you know which equipment you're gonna go with, which layout you're gonna go with, how many racks you're gonna use, 1 rack, 2 rack. If you have it planned out from the beginning, you're gonna find yourself spending less money. You know what I mean? Which is always good, which is always a good thing. Yeah. Well, that's it for this one. just talking about planning. If you're new to the sound thing, this video is for you, all right? So you guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share it. You understand? And then go down in the description. You see that join button, just click on it and join the Mighty Action Club. See? That's your way of showing support. Peace out.
Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Action sound. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa. Desire to get to higher. Life, it's an open road. Desire to get to higher. Don't limit it, you go about. Desire to get to higher. Life, it's an open road. Life, it's a subject, ain't not an object, ain't full control.